Here is your rewritten doctoral paper number 1 on question number 1 of the 108 questions for the U.S. Civic Citizenship Test, tailored to inspire ethical and spiritual flourishing on your journey, grounded in integrative leadership, systems thinking, and civic responsibility. Doctoral paper number 1. What is the supreme law of the land? The Constitution as civic compass, a journey toward wholeness and ethical citizenship. The answer to the first question on the U.S. Civics Test, what is the supreme law of the land, is the Constitution. Yet the truth behind that answer is far more than legal formalism. It is the moral architecture of a nation still wrestling with its own reflection. The Constitution is not simply a document, it is a covenant, a mirror, a test of collective memory and moral will. For anyone on a journey of human flourishing, whether in the rolling landscapes of Pennsylvania's 18040 or on the global stage, understanding the Constitution is not about memorizing clauses. It is about internalizing a framework for ethical alignment, civic responsibility, and principled resistance when institutions stray from their purpose. The Constitution as covenant, not control. The Constitution was designed not as a script to follow blindly, but as a container for generative tension, a way to hold opposing ideas, liberty and order, state and federal power, tradition and change, in creative suspension. This structure aligns with Jungian psychology. Integration comes not from denial, but from holding the opposites. Civic wholeness, then, demands the same. In its preamble, the Constitution proclaims a mission to form a more perfect union. Not a perfect union, but a pursuit of one. This is aspirational by design, recognizing that justice, tranquility, and liberty are not destinations but disciplines. They must be practiced, defended, and reinterpreted in each generation. 2. Legal code as ethical spine. From an ethical lens, the Constitution grounds the rule of law in a set of shared principles, freedom, equality, due process, that transcend any single administration. In spiritual terms, it offers what theologian Paul Tillich called an ultimate concern, a transcendent frame that organizes value and vision. In a society pulled by polarization and digital distortion, the Constitution remains a stabilizing narrative. It insists on checks and balances when leaders inflate ego over equity. It empowers dissent when policies violate human dignity. It forces a reckoning between who we say we are and how we actually live. Thus, civic literacy becomes a spiritual practice. 3. Living law in a connected age. In the era of Industry 4.0, AI, and digital convergence, the Constitution must be more than a relic. It must become adaptive code, an operating system flexible enough to accommodate cognitive shifts while anchored in enduring rights. As Shippers et al., 2019, argued, the failure to modernize governance alongside technological evolution introduces fragility into systems once thought immutable, as noted in AI, higher ed, and the workforce revolution. Those unwilling to reinterpret foundational frameworks risk becoming irrelevant in the face of accelerating change. Shippers, 2025. Civic doc algorithms must be both interpreted and ethically constrained. The Constitution must inform not just law, but algorithmic fairness, digital privacy, and human dignity in machine-mediated futures. I fear civic wholeness and the inner republic. Ultimately, understanding the Constitution is not about passing a test. It's about confronting the deeper question: what governs me? What are the laws, mental models, moral beliefs, cultural scripts that shape my decision-making, my leadership, my sense of service? To become whole is to harmonize the outer law, civic, with the inner law, ethical self. That is the spiritual charge of citizenship. As reflected in From COVID to Cognitive Collapse, crises reveal our operational truths. They strip away illusion. They demand recalibration, not just of systems, but of soul. In this light, that becomes a kind of national conscience. It doesn't just tell us what we can do, it challenges us to ask what we should do. Leadership, as Shippers 2025 writes in Burn the Script, is not performance. It is clarity under pressure. Civic engagement must embody that same clarity. Conclusion. The law, the Constitution, is the supreme law of the land, not because it has power, but because it limits it. Not because it controls citizens, but because it empowers them. It invites stewardship, not passivity. To live under the Constitution is to inherit a radical responsibility, to protect the space where justice can unfold, even when the winds of culture push against it. to practice civic leadership with moral restraint, to be still enough, as Kalis would say, to hear what conscience demands, even when the crowd is loud. If we wish to flourish as ethical and spiritual beings, then this civic code must become more than an answer to a test. It must become a map to integrity, a mirror to character, a meditation on power, trust, and renewal. References Shippers D, Barrios R, Hayden A, and Pappas J, 2019. 2019 Automation Alley Industry 4.0 Report, Cybersecurity. Automation Alley. Shippers D, 2025. AI, Higher Ed, and the Workforce Revolution. Why Adaptation is No Longer Optional. Nostradamus Publications. Shippers D, 2025. Burn the Script, Kill the Leadership Theater, Lead for Real. Iron Dog LLC. Shippers D, 2025. From COVID to Cognitive Collapse, How the Pandemic Exposed Organizational Fragility. Iron Dog LLC. Tillage P, 1957. Dynamics of Faith, Harper and Row. Would you like me to build a visual framework or mnemonic for learning all 108 civic questions through this integrative style?